Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another episode of Kast. Today is the 18th of May 2013 and I am ridiculously tired. Now you guys might be getting sick and tired of listening to me whining about being tired, but just in case you guys don't know, the past couple of weeks have been some very special weeks. So for starters, for those of you who aren't aware, I am now a married man, as you guys can see by the ring, even though that could be fake and it could be me just completely faking it for you guys. But there are witnesses. As a matter of fact, there should be footage going through somewhere in here about the wedding. But unfortunately, I only got like 30 minutes of usable footage from the wedding. I think it's even less than 30 minutes. So I doubt that throughout the entirety of the Conscast, it's going to be just wedding footage. But if you guys are curious about watching some of the stuff that happened at the wedding, it's going to be going through over there, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of commentary. Well, not really commentary of what's happening there, but just commentary of stuff that's happened throughout the past couple of weeks. But before we get into those topics, which I usually have topics like written down on the computer, and I keep checking those and going through all that stuff. But for today, I actually don't, because I felt like just doing it kind of freestyle a little bit. And so, yeah, it's pretty much just freestyle commentary from here on out. So starting right out, I would like to do shout outs, because usually I tend to do shout outs at the start of Conscasts. However, today's shout outs are a little bit different, because usually it's people that have either donated or done something special or whatever. But throughout the past couple of weeks, I've been kind of away from the whole YouTube thing, so it's hard for me to really go ahead and point out people that have done special stuff. I don't think anyone really did a lot of stuff apart from people just congratulating the crap out of me for getting married and all that stuff, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Lots of people sent me very kind messages, and just thank you very much for that. But the shout outs are going to go to, starting right up, I have to basically give a shout out to my parents. And you guys might be, what the hell you mean, your parents? Well, I don't think they even watch my videos, so I don't think they even care. But I have to mention that because they were pretty cool. I mean, they're always pretty cool, but what I mean is that this past couple of weeks, they were amazingly cooler than usual because of all the stuff that I've been up to. Now, as some of you may know, on the 3rd, was it on the 3rd? I think it was on the 3rd. On the 3rd of May, Side Strafe came to Portugal in order to attend my wedding. And the reason why I'm giving the shout out to my parents is because, like I told you guys, I was going to take Side Strafe throughout the country and taking him to see the sights, see a lot of castles, because he kind of likes castles. I like castles too, though. Don't get me wrong. So I took him throughout the whole damn country, and my parents really helped out. Like my father would book hotels for us in advance, because the thing is, we were doing stuff at our own pace, so I would never really know like where we're gonna be sleeping tonight. Like I would have an idea, like tonight we'll be sleeping like somewhere around this area, but basically I would call my father. My father would book reservations ahead of time, so that whenever we would get to our final destination of the day, there would always be an hotel there waiting for us. There would always be places for us to eat and stuff. I mean, obviously, you can go and do this stuff yourself, but there's no 100% guarantee that you're always going to have vacancy on a hotel or vacancy on a certain restaurant or something like that. So my father really helped out, not only planning the route itself, but also as we were doing this route throughout Portugal, booking reservations for us and stuff like that. And my mom even made a lasagna, because Side Strafe said that he really liked Italian food. And I'm like, man, dude, my mom makes the best lasagna in the damn world. So my mom even made a lasagna and everything. So it was pretty awesome. We had a good time. So yeah, that's why I wanted to give a shout out to my parents and all those of you throughout the world who have good relationships with your parents, and even those who don't. Maybe think about your differences with your parents, and if there's a possibility of fixing those differences, because having parents that support you is something that to me is just essential which is why sometimes a lot of people will say, "Oh man, you still like, hang out with your parents. That's so, that's so like mama's boy and stuff." To me, I'm like, dude, I couldn't care less. Love my parents. My parents are amazing, and yeah, that's what I had to say. The other shout out obviously goes out to Side Strafe for taking the time and buying a plane ticket and coming to Portugal, because it was just amazing. It was amazing meeting Side Strafe. He's an amazing guy. And we've had an amazing time in Portugal. At least I think he did. He keeps telling me that he really loved everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it is true. You guys probably wondering, oh man, Sice Riff was there. How come you guys didn't record a video or something? That's like, look, dude, we were way too busy to be recording videos. I mean, we were both just kind of taking time away from all the YouTube stuff. And the one person who had a camera, the footage that he filmed was not even stuff that I really wanted to use because it wasn't that great. I mean, I went through most of the footage that that person recorded, and yeah, even the wedding footage, I'll be honest, I didn't like it that much. Sorry, Ron. I mean, it's a fact, dude. You need to learn to use a camera a little bit better. Like, I know that I can't use a camera to save my life. I mean, obviously, I can record stuff every now and then, but I know that I'm not the most proficient person when it comes to using a camera. But Ron, man, woo, you're way worse than I am. But yeah. So starting things up, like, I mean, on the 3rd, I picked Side Striff up at the airport, and I brought them over to my place. We just kind of hung around for a bit because I had to do a lot of work in regards to the wedding itself, which is funny because, I mean, I was getting married on the 5th, so the 3rd and the 4th were complete chaos of stuff that we had to get done. And on the 3rd at night, my I think you call him your best man in English, because in Portuguese we have kind of different terms for those things. But my best man said, "Oh, we got this thing that we got to do." It's almost like a bachelor party, but it's not really a bachelor party because my fiance was going to, and other girls attended as well. It was just like a couple of friends getting together and just hanging out and stuff. So he said, "Oh man, on the 3rd, we're doing something the 3rd tonight, so just be ready for that." And the thing was, I thought that Side Strafe was arriving on the 4th, but he was arriving on the 3rd. And this thing that we were doing required like tickets and stuff. It was a show in Portugal called Guru. For those of you that want to Google it, go ahead, Google like the show Guru that was in Portugal. It aired not really aired. It was like this show that was kind of like a theater piece of a Portuguese comedy. And it was in a casino on the Nations Park Zone. So I was like, holy crap. So if they're coming on the 3rd, they're going to come with us to this show thing. And I need to get everything ready. So I called my best man. Look, dude, Side Strafe's actually coming one day earlier than I thought. So you need to get extra tickets for whatever it is that we're doing. And it's just so funny the way that stuff ended up happening. Because, I mean, on the 3rd, we were doing all these things for the wedding during the afternoon, me and my fiance, like getting these, how do you say this? The menus that you put on your tables at a wedding, we were doing those, the menus as well as some other stuff that we had to put on tables and stuff like that. So we were doing those and printing them out and stuff. And it was just like complete chaos. And my friend's like, "Look, dude, you need to be in Lisbon at 8. At 8, he said you need to be in Lisbon. It was 8:30, and I hadn't left my house yet. I needed to be there at 8 so that we could have dinner and stuff. And so it's 8:30. I'm still at my house. My father comes by the house because he comes to pick up all the stuff because he was going to take it to the place where the reception was going to take place. And at 8:30, I leave my house, and I get to Lisbon in 15 minutes. Now, you guys might not know if that's really fast or not. I don't know the exact distance, but usually, like if you're leisurely going from the place that I am, which is called Pinhal Novo, to Lisbon, it will usually take you about 30 minutes. If you're doing it leisurely, I mean, if you're going really leisurely, probably even 40 minutes. But I was in a hurry because I had to be there at 8. So I'm there at 8:45. My best man Tom tells me, dude, the show starts 9:30. And I'm like, oh, okay. So at 9, we're all sitting at a diner, side strafe as well. We're all sitting at a diner, and the waitress comes, and Tom goes to the waitress and he's like, look, here's the deal. We got to be in this place at 9:30. So yeah, it's 9 o'clock. And at 9:20, we were exiting the place. This was like a burger place in Lisbon called the 50s. It was actually good, pretty good food. I mean, I ate a salad because I'm still on that whole diet thing because of my stomach and stuff. But it was pretty good. It was pretty damn good. So as you guys can see, getting into a burger place in Lisbon at 9 and exiting at 9:20, already fed, that was pretty fast service. So we exit there and then we go and watch this guru show, and I was like, oh my god, Side Strafe can't understand a single word of Portuguese, and it's just like this Portuguese comedy show. And the worst part is that at some point there's like all these jokes coming through the show, and I'm trying to like translate stuff to him to make sure that he understands some of the show. And it's like there's all these sex jokes that are happening. So imagine what it's like, me in the dark whispering sex jokes to Side Strafe. It's just I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, it's just some funny stuff that happened before the wedding, and I thought it was pretty cool. Then on the fourth, the fourth, I really don't want to talk too much about what happened on the 4th. It was just the day before the wedding. I took Side Strafe to see his first castle, which was the castle of Palmela, which is actually pretty close to where I live. It's like 5-10 minutes away. And he was like, oh my God, this castle's amazing. He was like blown out of his mind. And after that, I mean, pretty much after that, it was the wedding day. And oh my God, the wedding day, you guys have no idea. So on the wedding day, for starters, I went to bed on the day before at like 2 a.m. It was about 2 a.m. And I had understood by what my father and mother had told me that like, look, you have to get up at around 7 because that's the time that we scheduled for you at the place where they were going to like trim my hair and whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure. It's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can make that. So it's like I go to bed, 2 a.m. At 7, I'm still not awake, but I have my alarm clock set to 7. At 6:45, my father goes into my room because I was sleeping in at my parents' place. Because, you know, kind of like wedding tradition and whatnot, all that stuff, the groom's house, and then only after you get married are the groom and bride supposed to live together. So she went to her parents' place, I went to my parents' place, and our house was pretty much empty. But anyways, so I'm at my parents' place, and at 6:45, my father like wakes me up from bed. Like I hadn't even showered yet. I was like completely wasted in bed. Like, I didn't get drunk or anything. I was just like really, really tired because of all the stuff that I had done on the previous days in preparation to the wedding. So my father wakes me up at 6:45, and I'm just like, what? What do you want? And he's like, well, we have to be at the place to trim your hair at 7. And I'm like, I thought I was waking up at 7. And he's like, no. So I get up, like I didn't even take a shower or anything. I go to the place. She clips my hair and then she washes my head and then she puts gel on me and stuff. And I'm like, but I still have to take a bath. Well, don't get your head wet. And I'm like, God damn it. So then I go home. I take a shower. I get dressed on the wedding suit, which I think I didn't look that bad. As a matter of fact, that suit pretty much took like 10 kilos off me, easy, just for the fact that I was wearing that suit. A lot of people were like, oh my God, you're so much thinner and stuff and stuff, basically, like people commending me on how elegant I looked because, you know, you guys know I'm a pretty big guy. And I've been losing weight like since October last year. And a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, you're so elegant now," and stuff. And then it was like this rush for pictures and staying in the sun. Like I burned my face terribly because I had to stay in the sun way too long, way too many times because it was a really sunny day. It was really, really sunny. So I was pretty happy with the weather on the wedding day. And yeah, I had to take a whole lot of pictures. And let me tell you, all those of you who are thinking about getting married, whenever people tell you, "Oh, it's your day," and whatnot, like I already knew that this was the case. I just want to confirm this for you guys. It is not your day. It is not about you at all. It is about all the people that you invited to the wedding and entertaining them. That's what your marriage is all about. Trust me, I speak from experience. I'm not saying I had a bad time. I mean, the wedding was actually, everything went perfectly, apart from the fact that the bride actually arrived 1 hour late to the church, which I already expected because my wife, I guess now I can say my wife because we're married. I used to say my girlfriend all the time, then my fiance and whatnot. Now I can say my wife. But my wife has an issue with schedules, as in she just doesn't like to keep them. So she will always pretty much arrive late almost everywhere. But I already expected that. So like I get into church right on time, like noon 30, which is when we're about to get married. Like all the guests are there and I'm like greeting people and stuff like, "Hey, what's happening?" And people are like, "So you ready, man? You ready, man?" And I'm like, "Dude, just wait. I'm only going to get married at 1:30. Want to bet?" It's like the wedding was scheduled for 12:30. And I'm like, "No, I'm only going to get married at 1:30. Trust me." So then I go up to the priest and the priest's like, "So where's your bride?" And I'm like, "Look, she's going to arrive 1 hour late. I know it. I just know it." And he's like, "Oh, but she wanted to do the ceremony earlier and all this other stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but actually the priest was a pretty cool guy. The priest was pretty cool about it. He was pretty patient. He waited for her. Also, she wanted a different music. She didn't want it the wedding march. So I brought a CD to church, and I'm like, "Oh, can we do this instead?" And apparently the DVD player at church, because they used like a DVD player to play music at the church. And I get there, and it's like, "Oh, the DVD's not really working." And I'm like, "What? So there's no music for when the bride comes in? What the hell's going on?" I go back there. I go to the place where they have the DVD. I called a couple of friends, called my best man, and I called a friend of mine who knows about electronics, got both of them working on it because I'm the groom. I'm not supposed to be working on that kind of stuff. I need to keep people entertained while they're waiting for 1 hour for the bride to get there. So they're looking over that stuff, and apparently it's like, "Look, dude, this isn't going to work. There's no way to fix it. There's no time. There is nothing. There's no music for when the bride comes into the church." So my uncle, my father's brother, he's like, "Oh, we'll just sing it. It's going to be fine." And people are like, "What the hell do you mean we'll just sing it?" And so basically when she actually got there at 1:30, he starts humming like the wedding march, like, "Dun, dun, ta-da, dun, dun, ta-da." And everybody that was there watching the wedding, everybody starts like humming along the wedding march. And I was like, "This is priceless. Who needs music? This is so way more cool." And I thought it was really cool. I mean, unfortunately, in the video sound, you can't really tell how cool it was. I don't know why, because I mean, when we were at the church, it sounded really cool. Just everyone kind of like, tuning up for the wedding march, everyone just humming it. Dun, dun, da-da, dun, dun. So it was kind of funny. And then during the wedding, something else that was pretty funny happened, which is the priest, he decided like, so since the bride arrived 1 hour late, I'm going to sermon the crap out of everyone. So he starts on this tangent. All of a sudden, like, we're there celebrating our marriage, me and my bride. And all of a sudden, the priest starts lecturing everyone on homosexuality. And I was like, "What the hell is this? Is this really happening in my wedding?" Like people commenting on the benches and stuff like, "Oh, what the hell? Why is the priest talking about homosexuality? What the hell is going on?" And I was like, "This is insane." Like people were completely losing it. Like as most of you guys know, I'm pretty liberal about all that kind of stuff. Look, I don't care. I don't care about people being straight, people being gay. I don't care. It's everybody else's business. It's not my business at all. I know that some people are like, oh, fully homophobe mode and all that stuff. I respect that. I respect that some people are like that. Me personally, I'm not. So when the priest starts going off on that tangent, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? But it's like, it's not like I could really complain because, I mean, the priest had been waiting for my bride for an hour, a full hour where he did nothing but sit and wait. So he was pretty patient. So I'm like, okay, look, do whatever you want. Just have your day in the sun. Go ahead, lecture the crap out of these people. It'll be fine. And then he married us pretty much. I mean, I don't know exactly what else to say about that. There was some scriptures that were read and whatnot. And then we got out of the church and everybody threw rice at me and rose petals. I'm not sure if that's what happens all over the world. I assume that's the same thing. It's not just like that in Portugal. Everybody throws rice and rose petals. And after that, we pretty much went to the place where we had the reception, where I once again burned under the scalding sun that happened in Portugal on the 5th of May. And I burned under that scalding sun so that people would take pictures with me and my bride in good lighting. So basically, like, my face was all burnt. And on the days that followed, as we traveled through Portugal, as I was driving side strafe through the roads of Portugal, we actually had some pretty good weather most of the time. I think it only was kind of like not really dark, but how do you say it? Cloudy, and we had like a little bit of rain, but not really like the pouring rain. I don't know exactly what you call it. It's almost like, you know, the kind of rain that almost looks more like vapor. I forget how you actually say that, but you know, just little droplets, like little itsy bitsy pieces of rain. But it wasn't terrible. There was only one day like that. Apart from that, it was just like sunny all around. So I burnt my face 2 more times taking side strafe through all these places. He burned his face as well. And like there was like stuff, skin peeling off my nose and forehead throughout the past 2 weeks. But yeah, so we drove all over Portugal. Like imagine this: if you go to the map of Portugal and you draw a cross that goes top to bottom and then side to side. Side strafe has been on all the extremes of Portugal. He went all the way up north, he went all the way up south, went all the way up. This side would be west. This side is east, I think. Whatever. Actually, the way you guys are watching the video is probably reversed from what I'm seeing in the viewfinder, so it's probably the other way around. I don't care. Anyways, he went all over. We went up north. We saw some really cool castles. Side Strafe's favorite castle in Portugal, by the way, is a castle called Almorol. So you guys can check that out, those of you who are fans of Side Strafe. And we went all over the country. We had a blast. It was just a lot of fun. He took like a bazillion pictures. Me personally, I didn't take that many pictures because I was usually either concerned about how much more would I have to drive on that particular day, where we would be sleeping, contacting my father, like, look, we might go sleep over here. We might go sleep over there. What do you think we should do? Because here's the thing. I don't usually travel that much around Portugal. I just pretty much stay at home and produce videos like the one you guys are watching now. So I don't usually tend to travel that often. So obviously I took advantage of my father's advice, who is someone who actually knows Portugal a whole lot better than me, and that allowed me to show Side Strafe a lot more than I could possibly hope to accomplish by myself. So instead of actually focusing on taking pictures, I would usually be focusing, okay, so we need to get here and then we need to get there, or otherwise like, oh, we spent too much time over here. We need to get here instead. And that was pretty much what I would be doing most of the time. And I think he took like over 50 gigabytes of pictures. 50 gigabytes of pictures of castles and landscapes and all kinds of crazy cool stuff. Um, and yeah, that's what I've been doing the past couple of weeks, just kind of showing him around. He left back to the States on the 16th, but I've been dead tired. And you guys might wonder, what do you mean you've been dead tired? You've been on vacation all this time. What the frack, Rurikhan? What's wrong with you? And let me tell you why. For those of you who don't drive yet, let me tell you something. Driving certain distances is extremely, and I mean extremely tiresome. And we drove, according to what my girlfriend told me today, we drove over 4,000 kilometers throughout Portugal. And just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea for you guys in the States, we drove more than 2,500 miles. Now, I know that's actually not a lot, but I mean, you need to understand, I usually don't drive that much. So just the driving in itself was pretty tiresome. And the thing is, when we were done driving, we would then have to go to a castle. And you guys might not realize this for those of you who never been into castles, but castles are like, fortifications, and there's like up and down, and like you can go up to walls and you can go up to towers. So there was a lot of, going upstairs and going downstairs and just moving around. And depending on the size of the castle, you would have a lot of walking to do as well. So the driving plus the walking, just all that stuff combined, and the amount of time that we did it was pretty tiresome, which is why on the 16th, which is when they left, I was just pretty much just exhausted. Then on the 17th, I was also exhausted. Plus, a friend of mine told me, "Oh man, you need to come by my place. Let's go play some PlayStation 3 and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down for that." So I went over to his place and played some PlayStation 3. And I have to say, I played Dark Souls. And actually, I should talk about this later, because I mean, I'm gonna go on a tangent. But yeah, I have been tweeting about how I've been really, really tired, and I just haven't even felt how should I put this? I haven't felt capable of actually recording a video. I mean, even today, I'm ridiculously exhausted, but it's just gotten to a point where I'm like, look, I need to, kind of address my community again, tell people what's going down, what's going on, which is why today I just decided, look, today I need to record regardless of whatever I happen to be doing. And which is interesting because it's like, so on the 16th was when I left them at the airport and I was just exhausted. On the 17th was when I went to my friend's place, and then I came back and I was exhausted. And today I had to get up early, get some chicken for my cousin because it was her son's birthday. And I had to drive over there, take the chicken, be at the party and whatnot. And then I also decided, well, it's probably a good idea since I'm here, because they celebrated his birthday at my parents' house. It's like my parents they actually have a house as opposed to an apartment, so they have like a little garden and stuff. So I grabbed like a hose, and I decided I'm going to go wash my car, because I mean, I have been driving the crap out of this car the past couple of weeks. I might as well, vacuum it, clean it. So I cleaned my car as well, and just all that stuff. And I got home and I was like, oh my God, I'm exhausted again, but I still have to make this video. But now you guys know what's been going down the past couple of weeks. I think I've said this a little bit too many times. I'm sorry. That just shows you how tired I am. But that kind of updates you guys on everything that's been happening in regards to playing Soul Sacrifice, because I know that you guys are like, oh man, but you got Soul Sacrifice. I got Soul Sacrifice pretty much the day after release, and I haven't touched it. And the reason I haven't touched it is because I've just been way too busy. It's like I was thinking like maybe I'll have time during the trip, during those dead times when I'm in between, when I'm at the hotel room or whatever, and it's just like nighttime and there's nothing to do. But all the dead times I would be just way too tired to even pick up the PlayStation Vita. It's like when it was at the end of the day that we've been traveling through Portugal and whatnot, whenever I was at the end of the day, it was like I would have energy all up until I go into a hotel room or whatever. As soon as I would see a bed, I would lie down and boom, I'm dead. it's over. It's like, don't even say anything to me. I am dead right now. Don't even touch me. And yeah, that happened quite a few times. I mean, a couple of times even my wife told me that she basically took my pants away and just kind of covered me in bed because like I would lay down just to rest and I would fall asleep instantly because of just how tired I was. But I don't regret a single thing. It was ridiculously fun and I loved every single day. So now let's talk about the community topic because, as you guys know, I usually do community topic for Kast. And in today's community topic, we have Foxio Games. In case you guys are wondering, oh, how do you pick the community topic? Well, you leave it in the comment section below. And people that see topics that they want me to talk about, make sure to thumbs those up as opposed to like, if you see a comment that's very similar to something that you would want to see discussed, just thumbs it up as opposed to, posting the same thing twice. Because that's pretty much how I selected. The most voted topic is usually the one that I will go ahead and read and discuss. So in this Cast, the most voted topic in the previous Cast, that is, was by Foxio Games. And he said, I'm relatively new to your channel, but have you talked about the concept of game length versus content value? For example, many game boasts their hundreds of hours of content, but it's mostly cut and paste dungeons and quests with repetitive themes and goals. But then some games like Dark Souls, when you remove the trial and error dying, can be easily completed leisurely in 15 hours or less. But nothing feels like padding. It's nearly all incredibly interesting and challenging. How do I feel in games length versus content value? Well, I honestly have never really overthought it. Like I really like, and this is I have to say this is very dumb of me to think like this, but I like when an RPG lasts long. I like to think, oh man, this game has tons of hours of fun. But to be completely honest, some of the times that stuff is bad because I'm a completionist, as you guys know. You guys will definitely know. Those who know about me know that I'm a hell of a completionist. I like completing everything that I do. And that was a very bad thing for me when it came to games like Kingdoms of Amalur, for instance, which I basically spent most of my time doing side quests. And even though the side quests were fun and all that stuff, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I never even got to the meat of the game because there was so much other stuff to do. Now, when people are completionists like me, I don't know. I'm just too completionist. And that is a problem because I like the fact that games have many hours, but then I end up spending all those hours doing repetitive and maybe even things that I remember as boring because that's just the way I am. And that's actually something that's been keeping me from playing certain games, like, for instance, Skyrim, and at the moment, even Dragon's Dogma. I haven't gotten started on Dark Arisen. Well, I have gotten started on Dark Arisen, but I haven't played it all that much yet because I'm thinking, oh man, I should record it. And then when I think, oh, I should record it, it's like, oh, but I need to do these side quests, and side quests are boring to record because nobody really cares about watching a video about side quests. And that's kind of a weird balance that you kind of have to strike with video games. So how do I feel about this whole thing of content length versus content value? Well, I think the way I feel is that despite of the fact that I personally am dumb in a way, and I like the fact that games boast ridiculous amounts of hours, I feel that game length is not necessarily something to do with content value. And I have a very, very extreme example of this, which is the video game Vanquish. I loved the video game Vanquish. I bought it on release, played the crap out of it. As a matter of fact, I might even at some point do a full playthrough on my channel because I really love that game. And this was a game that took me, I think, either 6 or 7 hours to complete. But it was some of the coolest 6 or 7 hours I've had in video gaming, simply because this is a game that's all about action, nonstop action, shooting people, bullet time, crazy sliding, and just like full on velocity, just shooting people, mailing people, just action, just full on action for 6 or 7 hours. And I paid full price for this game and I don't regret anything. There's no multiplayer modes, but there's like some kind of leaderboards or something for how fast you completed a level or something like that, which I honestly don't care. But I loved it. And I think that is a great example of a video game that is not that long, but it is amazing every single moment that you play it. It is just like amazing after more amazing. And that kind of sums up the way I feel about it. These days, even despite the fact that I like games that have, high value because they have lots and lots of hours, I have to say that I probably value games more that have significant hours as opposed to hours of side quests. I really feel that, obviously you don't want to pay $50 for a game that is like a 2-hour long game, but there's something to be said if those 2 hours are like the best hours you've ever had in gaming. I mean, certain people have gone through Dark Souls in 1 hour, the full game. And I mean, obviously this is a bad example because it's a speed run and whatnot, but basically game length does not necessarily mean game value at all. Now, there's also other exceptions, like for instance, Mass Effect, because Mass Effect, you spend lots and lots of hours doing lots and lots of things. And in Mass Effect 1, though, several of those things are quite repetitive. In Mass Effect 2, I can't really remember because it has been a while, but in Mass Effect 3, it was I don't think I did a lot of boring things, so to speak, when I was playing Mass Effect 3. But it was still an amazing game. It had a lot of content. It had a lot of hours of fun and enjoyment, and it was good because, again, it was cool. Most of the stuff that you were doing was cool. So it's all about how cool things are. Because, for instance, when you look at a game like Skyrim and they say, oh, this game is like 300 hours of quests. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've seen in Skyrim, even though I haven't played all that much of it, I'll admit, like I made like 15 episodes of Skyrim, and that was pretty much my experience with Skyrim up until this point because I never really picked it back up again yet, but I will eventually. I will. It's on my wall of shame. But a lot of the stuff that I did in Skyrim was just exploring. I didn't really spend a lot of time really doing all those side quests and stuff that they supposedly spend hours upon hours building for you to. And I'm losing my track of thought at this point. What I mean is that there's a lot of stuff to do in Skyrim, but I've also heard that a lot of it is repetitive. I don't have that experience myself, but I've heard that a lot of that stuff is repetitive. So is that really content value or not? I'm not 100% sure. It depends on the players themselves. To me, I prefer experiences, these days I prefer fast experiences because it's usually stuff that I can also record and do videos on. It's just certain games I feel don't really suit the style of game that I usually cover on playthroughs. Skyrim is most definitely one of those games. I really want to cover Dragon's Dogma, but I feel that I also would spend lots and lots and lots and lots of time doing side stuff because that's just the way I am. And it's just at the end of the day, these days I am looking for shorter experiences, more directed experiences like Dark Souls. Dark Souls is just amazing when it comes to that because there's a lot of stuff that you can do, but it's not like they got this checkbox like, oh, look, you've achieved this thing, so now you need to go do this and this and this, They don't have that kind of a checkbox feel to it that a lot of games do. It's like, oh, you got this quest where you got to go hand this thing in and hand that thing in and do that other thing and whatever. But anyways, I think I kind of lost myself a little bit here. Now, the other thing I wanted to discuss today, and today is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode because, like I told you guys, I am a little bit tired. And I still have a lot of other stuff to do. Like, for instance, I have to do another PlayStation Plus incoming because I haven't covered all the stuff that's going to be coming in June to the European store as well as the May update for the US store. just get back in the loop with all that stuff in regards to the PlayStation Plus incoming, because obviously 2 weeks out of the loop is a pain in the ass. I also have to probably do a couple of videos for Portugal Gaming, and for all my Portuguese followers, once again, remember, please, if you speak or understand Portuguese, regardless if you're Portuguese or Brazilian or whatever, you should really go ahead and subscribe to Portugal Gaming, because I am the one managing all the content in that particular channel, and I am the one making the RPG program, so to speak. But yeah, that's a couple of videos that I'm going to have to work on. So let's see. How far have we gone along in this particular Conscast? Well, we've talked about the wedding, talked about side strafe and castles and driving around Portugal, talked about the community thing. Oh, yes. I wanted to... I don't even know exactly how to ask this, but how do you guys feel in regards to Soul Sacrifice? Because I've been considering purchasing one of those modified Vitas that they sell in Japan now. The main thing that's keeping me from doing it is it's like those Vitas don't really have a warranty. It's like I'd be okay. Like I'd sell my Vita, whatever, pay a little bit more extra and get the modded version of the Vita. But the thing is, there's no warranty on that thing. Like that thing breaks down a week after it gets here. I'm done. I'm screwed. It's like I'm out for $150 or however much those things cost. And it's like I've been thinking. It's so much more convenient to record though. It's so frustrating whenever I want, because like I want to record Soul Sacrifice right now. I want to go just get in there, record it. But it's such a hassle. It's such a pain in the ass. I mean, I do all these things to my computer to get the capture card and whatnot, all these experiments, because to make things more convenient, to be like, oh, I feel like recording. Boop. I'm recording, I'm talking, I'm doing my thing. And it's like with the PlayStation, it's like I have to grab the camera that I'm using right now. I have to set it up perfectly right. I have to use this device that my girlfriend bought to like place the Vita in a fixed position to be able to record it. And it's a major hassle to every time that I feel like recording the Vita. And I'm sorry. Now I'm getting frustrated. Whenever I get to that topic of talking about recording PlayStation Vita, it's just extremely frustrating. It's like I really want to get that modded version of the Vita, but I'm scared. I'll be honest, I am scared, because if that Vita breaks down, it's like I'm done. I'm out of a console, and it's like it's not like I'm rich. It's not like I got 15,000 subs. It's not like the 15,000 subs is going to allow you to earn a reasonable amount of a reasonable living with this stuff. And I just got married, marriage expenses plus expenses of driving around and whatnot. It ain't easy. It ain't easy is what I'm saying. And dropping $450 down just so that I can be able to record video games, it's a daunting thing, especially if you take a look at what Nintendo is all of a sudden decided to do, which is something that I also wanted to address on this Conscast, but I might end up just making a separate video on that. But it's like Nintendo's like, oh, I'm sorry, you guys wanted to make money out of those videos that you're hard at work producing and giving us free publicity. No, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to be making money off of those, which is, I don't want to get into that particular subject because I will discuss that in a separate episode or something of Conscast, like Concast about Nintendo or something, but that's just a whole nother can of worms, just a completely new can of worms. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should do it? Like invest in a console and just to, I mean, obviously you guys are going to say, yeah, you should totally do it because Soul Sacrifice is the shit and whatnot. And it's like, I don't know. It's still hard. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing about that. But I do have another project that I want to work on. I mean, obviously you guys know that I'm going to be working on The Last of Us once it comes out. As a matter of fact, I might have a surprise for you guys in regards to The Last of Us. Hopefully, we'll see if I have a surprise or not. But The Last of Us is definitely something that I'm going to do a full playthrough on once I get my hands on it. However, I am going to be coming back from E3 at the time that it releases because if you guys remember, E3 is from the 11th to the 13th or whatever. But I'm probably going to be going early to Los Angeles because I actually am most likely going to have access to Microsoft press conference, which actually is on the 10th, I believe. So I might fly out of here on the 8th, get some rest over there on the 9th so that I'm fresh and out of jet lag by the 10th and just good to go. So that is my plan for E3, you know, actually leaving out of here on the 8th, go to LA, and on the 9th, hopefully, I will be there resting. On the 10th, I will be at the Microsoft convention on the 11th. Like I said, I don't want to do a whole lot of coverage. I might end up doing a couple of interviews. Still not sure what Portugal Gaming has planned because I am going there with one guy from Portugal Gaming. So there might be some interviews involved. I'm not sure if that's what they have planned or not. I'm still not sure. I'm probably going to take my camera, but the batteries on this camera are pretty much dead. So I'm not sure how much hours of footage I can actually get out of these batteries. But yeah, E3, that's going to happen as well. So sacrifice. Not sure what I'm going to do about the Dark Arisen just yet. I do have one surprise project that I want to keep a surprise. Let's just say it's something that I have mentioned in the past, a long time ago. Long time ago. Some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. It's just, I feel that particular game might actually really attract you guys or not. Who knows? Maybe it won't. Maybe you guys will hate it. I don't know. But it's a game that I feel like, I feel that deserves to be played. So we'll see about that. It is a surprise game. But for now, for the next couple of days, I think I'm going to be sticking to Demon Souls for a while because I'm just tired and I don't feel like working on 3 and 4 different games at the same time like I usually do. I just feel like, you know, taking it easy. I might also be getting back into SWTOR a little bit, despite the fact that I fucking hate their business model. Yes, Electronic Arts and BioWare. Your business model in the SWTOR free-to-play is despicable, and you guys make me sick to my stomach. But I still love the crap out of Star Wars. Oh well. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm tired, and I don't think I have any other topics. I probably do. I probably have a ton of other topics that I wanted to address, but this is just like the first video. And I just needed to get a Cast out there to you guys to let you know how the wedding went, how the side strafe. Well, not really side strafe. I called it the strafing run. The Portugal strafing run. That's going to become like a tourist attraction. Like people are going to come to Portugal and do the Portugal strafing run. I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. And the fact that I'm completely off topic at this point just means I need to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, leave me your comments, feedback. Remember to leave me your suggestions for the community topic of the next Cast. You guys don't have to bother suggesting that I talk about Nintendo because that's just going to happen most likely in a Cast of itself. Anyways, I got a lot of more work to do, so hope you guys enjoy this video as usual. Feedback, comments, topic of the next Cast, and I'll see you guys in the next one.